trader's risk story. Hi, it's Charlie giving you Saturday's video. I've got a chart up here of the S&P 500 because a trader was just telling me this story, so to speak, about what they've done in recent sessions. And this trader was long the S&P from down here. So you'd say, well, that's all right. That's not bad if they got long on the S&P down somewhere down in this zone. And yet they're out. And you're like, well, you would say, well, that's not a bad run, and yet they're out. So why is that? And that all comes back down to risk and risk management, because this trader put too big a position size on. And when somewhere within all of this, they didn't lose any money particularly, but because they were risking too much, they couldn't handle it when the S&P came back down during that 2-day period, the down day, and then the follow through on that bar there. They couldn't handle that down move that just a small move that it was, and fun enough came out just near the lows of that day before then reversing back up. And the reason that they've done that is because they were risking too much on the trade. And if you risk too much, it makes you more emotional, makes you less objective on trades, and more likely to go and interfere or to micromanage. So my advice for this weekend is to keep an eye on how much you're risking per trade, and keep your risk lower. The lower your risk per trade, the easier it is to manage the trade. But then when you are in trades, you do your analysis beforehand, or whatever your strategy or setup is that gets you into a trade, and then you repeat and keep reminding yourself why you're in that trade, and that why you can't afford to interfere with it in the grand scheme of things. Over our next 100 trades, if I interfere with every one of those 100 trades, is my profits or my results going to be better or worse? Most likely they're going to be worse. So you need to remind yourself of all that. But the reality is you need to have a good hard look at yourself if you're taking too much risk, because it's likely your decision making is going to be more clouded and less clear. So if you are finding, even risking let's say 1% per trade, that you're still finding it difficult, well, definitely reduce the risk down further, 0.5%, let's say, risk per trade. But you can always work on your mindset. And so that's what we spend an inordinate amount of time doing over in the community here at CBT, is working on mindset. And so that we can deal with risking, a normal amount. But for some people, they still find risking even 1% is quite hard. And I quite like it when people are only risking 0.5% per trade. But if you are risking whatever your risk level is, you can work on your mindset. And if you don't work on your mindset, then you're more likely to make those sorts of decisions that this trader this week did, because they had too big a position on the S&P and then couldn't handle it when it just pulled back just a small amount and then jumped out just at the point that the S&P literally turned back up later, and they missed out on the rest of that move. So something to consider there for this Saturday.